Thank you, Ilana, for your time today about this interview on Zimmi diamonds and your operation of diamond in Sierra Leone and your jewelry business as well. So I first give a little introduction to the students who will be viewing this video. So you and your brother have an operation, diamond mining operation in Sierra Leone for specific to Zimmi diamonds, which you will tell us more about what they are. And on another side, you have your own personal business, which is Noble Fine Jewelry, where you work very closely to customer to make custom-made jewelry, which also sometimes include, of course, Zimmi diamonds.
Yes, hi Valentina, hi everybody. Thank you for having me on. As you know, I'm always very passionate about explaining our operation and how we work. So yeah, Zimmi diamonds, I mean, my brother is the main exporter today in Zimmi diamonds in the world. We have the largest stock of polished Zimmi diamonds in the world. And he's also the largest white diamond exporter in Sierra Leone private at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, which is amazing, and more amazing that both of you don't actually come from a background in the diamond business.
Yeah, no, not my brother or I grew up with a diamond in our business. We did grow up in Antwerp. We grew up surrounded by people in the business, but we didn't think we were going to end up, in the business. I left Belgium when I was 14. I went to school in England. Funnily enough, after school, I lived in the diamond area, Hatton Garden in London, sorry. But I wasn't in diamonds. And then, life had a way. I went back to Belgium and I met my husband, who was a third generation diamond dealer. And I came inside the diamond center in Antwerp for the first time. And I was like, okay, wow. All the stones that I saw in Bond Street, in the expensive shops, had been either traded or polished or done by somebody in Antwerp, by my husband's family, by his friends. And I was like, this is so interesting. Why aren't we seeing this more? Why is this world so closed? And then at the same time, my brother had moved to Sierra Leone for a completely different reason. He's a big adventurer. And I got diamond mining fever, I guess I would say. And we just, I don't know, it's just like, I believe that we were called into this business. Sometimes life has a way of putting you where your destiny is. And I believe that that was our destiny.
Definitely.
So yeah, to change things up a little bit.
Yeah.
we like to change things up, my brother and I.
That's lovely. That's lovely. And what is exactly a Zimmi diamonds? Like where the name comes from, and what is the story behind this? Because it's something very unique, and not many people know about it. You're doing really a huge job into letting the market know about this very special diamond, but not much is known.
Yes, not much is known. I mean, they've been around since, I think the first one was found in around 1960, 70. It was found, the reason it's called Zimmi, it was found near a village or in a village that is called Zimmi today. And if you go on my Instagram, you can see me visiting Zimmi. That's why they called it Zimmi. It's a diamond that's found only in an area of 25 square kilometers on the border of Sierra Leone and Liberia. Okay, so imagine the range of where it's found, very small. So that's why they called it Zimmi diamond. And the reason that they are so special is their high saturation of color. Okay, it's very vivid. Sometimes they have an orangey tone. If you compare a regular vivid yellow diamond with a Zimmi vivid yellow, you can see the difference. And it will still be graded the same by GIA, but you can see the difference. I actually have a picture of that on my Instagram. I can share it with you later so you can share it with your students, because it's just interesting to see. And one of the reasons that the locals and my brother know, and it's not actually on the GIA website, which is very interesting, and I've told them they should change it, is the reason that they think it's so intense in color is because the high level of iron ore in the ground there. Iron ore.
Ore, okay. Ah, wow.
Yeah, so that's why they say that's the locals and my brother. I think it's so interesting because if you go there, and I've been to the mine, I've had the luck to be able to go to mine in, I mean, I don't mind, but to go there and see this, you understand what a different view everybody has of this business, you know. They sometimes don't understand what's actually going on underground, and they don't know this, you know, like who knows about the iron ore, you know, but it's the locals and people that are there spending time doing it, you know. And my brother actually spent a lot of time living there with the locals people so that he got to know them. It's a very more, you know, human way of doing business.
Yeah. So these special diamonds, which are much more saturated than other type of yellow diamonds, what makes your customer choose them? It's how much the color is playing a role in this, and how much origin is playing a role, because now we are we're already in a moment where origin is playing a fundamental role for customers. So you are in a unique position of being able to offer your customers diamonds which you mine directly through your brother. So I think this is a big impact. But at the end, what do you think makes your customer choose Zimmi diamonds?
Well, I will tell you the reasons that most of them choose Zimmi. Some people who know me and they followed my journey, so they buy them, and obviously they trust me, and they've seen my stories. People choose it for the uniqueness. It's very rare. Okay, in about 10 to 15 years, we predict there will be none left. Okay, at the moment, there's very little coming out, but we don't know if it's because of Corona, less mining, you know. At the moment, this is happening. So in about 10 to 15 years, when there's no more supply, you can imagine what will happen to prices. So it's a very, 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 very good investment. It's like the Argyle pink, you know. And for me, I call it the Rolls Royce of yellow diamonds. Basically, cannot compare. So some people will choose it for traceability. Some people will choose it for the color, for the rarity. Yes, we are in a time where it's important for customers to know origins, but I believe it's not everywhere yet. Not all cultures. It depends which country or culture is buying. Some people care, some don't. But I do believe that we're moving more and more into that direction. So it's good to be ready. And, you know, I just think it's, you know, to know where a diamond comes from, to literally know where it comes from, to be able to look at the, you know, my customers will look at the stories on my Instagram, or we've been in a documentary on French TV. It's so much more exciting in a time where, you know, it's just become a commodity, diamonds. Here we have a whole story. And I think that's so important because we've lost that in the business. You know, we want to bring back humanity. It's what I always say to anything when we met, you know, we want to bring back soul to the business. It's definitely what I want to do as well. And that's by knowing the people along the way, who mine them, who cut them, who set them in the jewelry, who sell them. You know, you have the whole story. And now I've started recently is my own foundation in Sierra Leone. And the first project is going to be a library built in the Zimmi region. So a part of the proceeds of the jewelry that I sell with Zimmi diamonds will be going back into the communities as well. So it's become a really circular business, really, where it's not just about taking, it's about give and take and supporting each other.
Yeah, this is really beautiful, and definitely it's making a big difference, I think, for customer when they come across a business like your one, which really makes them participate to a story that involves people, and it's really, really very interesting. To go back to the mining part. So of course, the mining in Sierra Leone is an artisanal type of mining that your brother has of a secondary deposit. What are the main challenges you see that are faced from an enterprise that is mining a secondary deposit?
Well, it's a lot less. The first thing, it's a lot less corporate. Okay, but there are. I think that there is a beautiful thing to it, but then there's also obviously it's harder because there's less machinery. You know, it's locals mining, so maybe they've known how to mine this for generations. Yeah, some of them are second or third generation miner. They know the land, so that's good.
Yeah.
But It's harder. It's harder to find the stones. It's rarer. Also, you have the rainy season, which is about 6 months a year, so you cannot mine for 6 months a
Completely.
year.
It's off completely. Like no operation is going on for 6 full months.
It's torrential rain, really,
Yeah.
in Sierra Leone. So you can't really mine at that time. It's very
Yeah.
difficult. It's really seasonal mining. And, you know, challenges, you're working with humans. So there's a beauty to it and there's challenges to it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
again, the positive is that we have less environmental impact on the land, which is great. Um, you know, but yeah, there's beautiful and challenges to it, but it's mainly, I would say, the weather.
Yeah, and so out of curiosity, it just came to my mind. When you are shut off for 6 months a year, what the people, the miners that work for you, do for these 6 months, and what do you do on the operational side, like when there is no actual mining going on?
So I think I've said to you, for my brother, he has in Sierra Leone, you have to have a buyer's license or a miner license. My brother has both, so that it's all official. And, you know, so obviously you will have other people that come from the different places in the country that will bring diamonds to my brother to sell to him, because he also has a buy. So it will kind of trickle in
Yeah,
from different villages deep inside the country. They will My brother will probably think about where he wants to mine next, because he doesn't, we're talking about Zimmi diamonds here, but you know, there's also white diamonds.
yeah,
At the moment, he's in another country in Africa setting up a new operation. So, you know, and the operation is, at the moment, they're washing in Sierra Leone in one of his white mines. So again, and it's the beginning of the rainy season. So they're hoping to finish that in the next few weeks before really all the torrential rain starts.
yeah.
So it's a question of really, I think, you know, it's being creative. My brother's a very creative, different, out of the box
Yeah.
kind of person. So he finds himself busy, but and then the people, look, a lot of them also work on the land, but it's difficult. So that's why it's so important that they make enough money during the mining season. Because if they don't have that, they don't have anything, these people. So it's, for me, it's always very interesting how people in different countries in the world outside who've never been to the mine says, oh, but you have to treat them well and it's really bad. And it's not about that. It's about their livelihood, and it's about making sure that they work in good conditions and get paid fairly. But if they don't have that, they have nothing. So you don't want to take away the mining from them.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And to give an idea to students, how often does a diamond get recovered? I know it's very complicated to answer this, I guess, because with secondary mining, it's really up to day by day, it's always different. But do you kind of, I don't know, have like 1 stone per week, or it's a
With Zimmi diamonds, it's impossible to tell you.
yeah.
It's really impossible because they're so rare. So it's something that's very, and at the moment, there's very little coming out, as I said. And it's, sometimes you're lucky, you have a few stones in one go, you have a good place where you've mined. Sometimes no, it's very difficult. With the white diamonds, obviously, there's a lot more recovery, more regular recovery.
Yeah.
recovery. But again, it depends where you mine. It really depends. It's a very difficult, it's different to deep pit mining because you don't have the same infrastructure. You don't have this, it's much more intuitive. Also, people that know the land locally will, you know, they will kind of guide my brother where they might be able to go. My brother will have a feeling about something.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yes, yes, yes. So I believe it's the same as well for estimating the lifespan of a deposit. Like, for example, with primary deposit, it's you kind of know the end date before you start mining in the exploration period. Before you even open the mine, you kind of estimate when this mine will run out, or it won't be more economical any more economical to continue to mining. With secondary, I think then it's similar. Like you cannot kind of estimate an end date for the deposit.
No, and I mean, Sierra Leone has been mined a lot. So, and they're still finding diamonds. It's still one of the, I think it's like the 9th largest producer of diamonds in the world or in Africa. So, and it's a small country. So they're still finding a lot. You have the De Beers mine there as well. I think it's inactive now. Koidu. Well, probably is. I don't know, but it doesn't. It's hard to estimate really when you work that way. And I also feel like there's a little bit of a nicer. It's not so like business, business, business. You know, like let's get as much out of the land as we can. You know what I mean? Let's go with the flow. Let's. Of course, we want to make money, and of course that's important to everybody. You know, also locally the people have to make money, but it's about going more with the flow, with the country, with the earth. It's very different for us anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of machinery or type of technology that you use for the secondary mine, it's like something in continuous evolution, or it's more like really you have the classical people working.
Yeah, it's very difficult to use machinery there because then you remove the whole, first of all, the whole process of it being artisanal. You don't want to use too much machinery. Of course, they can sometimes move a little bit of land or to help move, you know, have the machinery to wash, but you're not really, and then they really go in and sift. That's the last stage. The panning process. That's the last stage. I've seen it. I've been there a few times when they do that, and it's really, that's what's so beautiful about it. I think that we're still kind of working that way. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you use all this machinery, then you're kind of removing the whole purpose of what they're doing, and it being artisanal mining. So yeah.
And so you are also familiar, of course, with the RAF of Zimmi diamonds. You have quite some interesting stories about you being able to recognize RAF, and this helps you a lot when you are doing business with other people also.
Yes. No, listen, I mainly deal in the polished stones and then making the jewelry. That's my side. But obviously being around my brother, having been to Sierra Leone a few times, having been to Zimmi, I get to see rough a lot. And it's interesting because I had a customer looking for a regular yellow diamond a while ago, and I went into an office in Antwerp, and we were talking. I was talking about Zimmi. They wanted to, you know, we didn't know each other, so we wanted to know each other to do business. I was like, yeah, we have some Zimmi rough here too. I was like, okay. And then he's like, yeah, he's showing it off very proudly to me. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, but that's not Zimmi. I've seen enough to kind of recognize. There's a little bit of a different texture. It looks different. Yeah, it's Zimmi. I was like, no, it's not. Yeah, it's Zimmi. I was like, listen, it's not Zimmi. And then he's like, we are polishing at the moment an 8 carat and a 10 carat. And I was like, looking, that's almost impossible in Zimmi diamonds to have that kind of size. It's almost like impossible. So you have to be very careful, because when you're buying a Zimmi diamonds, you're paying more than for regular diamonds. So you need to be very careful where you're buying your Zimmi from, because people try, you know. So that's very important to us, that when people are buying a Zimmi diamond, they know that they're buying a Zimmi diamond, whether it's through knowing us. We have talked about the reports.
Yes, I was going to ask you actually this, because it connects very well to what you're saying.
Exactly, and that's why I'm gonna go into into it. Is that a couple of years ago they started GIA started origin reports, which I thought was fantastic. But there's still some little complications with it, because you have to give in the rough. It's time consuming. They have to send it off, analyze it, and then you have to give it back for polishing. And it becomes, for some of the smaller stones, it becomes too expensive. Okay, at the end of the day, they do still want to maximize profit. So it's a little bit at the moment, I think there are still some issues with it, but we're on the right way. But I think when you know us, and most of my customers, you know, through talking to me and seeing the videos and seeing where I've been, and I can show them that, they'll trust that it's a Zimmi. And I usually will put it next to another regular yellow diamond to show them the difference as well.
Yeah. And more or less, up to which carat size it would be useful to do a GIA report that states Zimmi diamonds?
From around one carat, one. And they don't do it for everything. Depends on the intensity of the color as well. You know, you have like in all fancy colored diamonds, you have in different intensities in Zimmis, and you also have some stones that aren't as beautiful as, you know. Some come with a green coat. It's a gamble when we polish them. You have like deep yellow, which is cheaper. It's beautiful. It's just a little bit cheaper than the vivid yellow. So sometimes it's not worth it financially yet, but I believe we are on the right track, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so you can have GIA Diamonds report stating Zimmi as in the comment section, like it happens for Argyle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, or yes, not Argyle. They've created their own report, I think.
But you also have GIA. If diamond is from Argyle and you can demonstrate, it will be in the comment section. Argyle, and it's the same with Zimmi. So
yes,
in comment
Zimmi or
Zimmi.
Yeah, Zimmi or origin Sierra Leone, which means, because I think, or Liberia, because they're also recovered on the other side of the Mano River, which is the river separating Liberia and Sierra Leone. So it will state those origins, yeah. But yeah, so my brother has sold indirectly to some of the biggest jewelers as well. I cannot name them here because they will not be happy, but you know, it just, when you come to us, you just pay a different price, that's all.
Of course. Ilana, you also have, of course, actually, let me mention that you have a beautiful Zimmi diamond. You're wearing a beautiful Zimmi diamond at the moment. We didn't talk about
the amazingness of the color. It's a piece that I created. It's got a 201 carat orangey yellow, but you cannot see it so well. I'll send you pictures afterwards. You would like to share it. I can see the color is not empty. And I called it the Sun of Sierra Leone, because of the sunshine and the happy people. It's actually, the people in Sierra Leone are pretty happy people. They're very friendly. They live, they intermarry in different religions. There's no problems between religions, which is actually, we can probably learn a lot from them there. And yes, they may live in villages with, you know, a lot less than we have here, but I find that I've been very humbled by being there and seeing what we can learn from all these people. And how they are and how connected they are to the nature, to life, they're happy. They don't have time for, you know, depression. And actually the civil war that happened in Sierra Leone came from Liberia. So they don't want war. They're not people who want war, you know, so.
Yeah, and you are very connected to them, which made you start your own foundation. You mentioned something about it earlier in the interview, that you're starting a library now, and you have few projects going on in that direction.
Yeah, so the dream is to obviously create many charities, but you know, you have to start one step, do a pilot, and then see what else is needed. And as I've been working on this, I've also realized what else is needed in Sierra Leone. There's a lot of things that are needed, but I decided to start with a library because in Zimmi or in Sierra Leone, they finish school quite early, 1, 2, and then in the afternoon, what they'll do is they don't have much to do. So sometimes the kids will literally want to go into the mines, and we don't want kids to work, you know, in the mines, but they want to, and we will say no, and they'll want to go in, but we don't. That's not allowed. So don't worry, but you want to give them something else, and you want to give them the ability to educate and to have extra time to educate themselves. So that's why I wanted to build a library with good Wi-Fi, because also another problem that I realized along the way is that there's a very high level of illiteracy in those villages. And to really be able to give them the skills to improve conditions, I believe we need to start with the basics. So that's kind of, I'm pivoting a little bit to what the aim of my foundation will be fully, but the library will be the first one because it's what I started with. And also, I don't know, eventually maybe even give women startup money, you know, because I believe that when women are running things, you know, we're mothers. We care about building a better future for our children and a better world. So I think it's always good to be able to help women with microfinancing. But these are all at later steps. The first step will be the library. A part of the proceeds of any Zimmi diamond jewelry is going, I think I said that before, so I'm repeating myself, but it's going to go back into the community. I've done a little bit of fundraising. I'm currently in talks with somebody who gets funding for NGOs. So this is all, it's taking time, but this is the dream. And the dream is to really be able to improve a lot of the education in Sierra Leone. That would be like my dream.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and give them skills. And it's also, you know, I say, when we see all these diamonds in the big stores in Bond Street or Place Vendôme or Fifth Avenue in the world, it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And I'm not against any of this. It's not about that. But it's, again, it's about, we need to pay homage to the people who are actually bringing these stones to us. They deserve it. So
yeah. It's a great approach, really, that it's probably missing in many places, and it's great to see your involvement with this. So thank you very much, Ilana, for sharing all of this and share your passion and share really your values into the business, which was really beautiful to see. And,
thank you, Valentina. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. You're quite a fabulous addition in the Antwerp diamond market. So you deserve the recognition too. Yes, so it's great. I'm very excited to be able to do this with you.
Thank you so much. So I will share your details, the details of Zimmi Diamonds, of your company, and you mentioned a great documentary that you filmed with the French television. It's in French, but I would love to share it anyway because it really gives an additional insight on what you do, which is really great.
Yeah, and you guys can really follow me into the mines, which is probably the most exciting part, I would say.
Definitely, super exciting. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ilana, for your time then.
Thank you, Valentina. Thank you.